If you're anything like me, you can often be very impatient, and especially in these days, when we're all cooped up at home, I've grown even more impatient. It's because I'm waiting. I'm waiting for things to return to normal, and I'm stuck in the present. I can't skip ahead to the future, to things when things will return to normal. Now, I wish I could sometimes, and it's the same for you guys. You guys are waiting for things to return to normal, whether it's to return to school or graduation or just return to hang out with your friends again. And I'm excited for that day. But for now, we're stuck, and that's the human condition. We're stuck in the present. We can't go back and we can't go forward. Though we often wish we could, we can't change the past, and nor can we go to the future. And what that shows us is that we are bound. We're kind of, you can say, stuck. We're kind of like a prisoner in time. But today we're talking about an attribute of God called God's eternality. And God is actually not bound by time like we are. And God's eternality says that God is Lord over time, that He is from everlasting to everlasting, and He experiences time so much differently than we do. To show this truth, Peter writes in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, Peter says, "Dear friends, don't overlook this one fact. With the Lord, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day." What's Peter saying here? Well, what Peter is saying is that in every moment of time, God sees it perfectly and is there perfectly and sees it in its full vividness. And it's hard for us to comprehend that, but in order to help you a little, I want to quote to you C.S. Lewis. He says about God, "All the days are now for Him. He does not remember you doing things yesterday. He simply sees you doing them, because though you have lost yesterday, He has not. He does not foresee you doing things tomorrow. He simply sees you doing them, because though tomorrow is not yet there for you, it is for Him." So your yesterday and your today and your tomorrow, God is always present. And I've got a little illustration to help us understand this. This line here is time, okay? And A, B, and C are events in time. And we are always moving this way along the line, and we're stuck in the line. And so A might be the morning, and when morning passes, we go into the afternoon. And once we get to the afternoon, we cannot go back to A, and we cannot go forward to C. We're just constantly, slowly going along this line. And that's how we experience time. But God isn't like that. Imagine God is this paper. He's before time, He's after it, He's above, He's under, He's in time. That's how God is. He experiences A, B, and C all at the same time and all fully. And that shows us that God, because He's creator of time, He's Lord over it. And because He's Lord over it, He can actually act in time. He's revealed Himself to the people of the Old Testament, but He's fully revealed Himself in the person of Jesus Christ. Paul says in Galatians 4, "When the time came to completion, God sent His Son, born of a woman." So God acts in time and actually enters into time in the person of Jesus Christ. Now, Jesus, since He's also God, Jesus is also eternal. Jesus says about Himself, if you just flip to Revelation 1, chapter 1, verse 8, Jesus says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who is, who was, and who is to come, the Almighty." Now you might be thinking, well, that's great and all, but what does this have to do with me? Well, it has everything to do with you and your confidence in God hearing your prayer. So, if God is truly Lord over time, and He's truly present in each and every moment of time, then He can hear your prayers perfectly, and hear your prayers vividly. And He's present with you in your yesterday's prayers, in your today's prayers, and in your tomorrow's prayers. And not only for you, but for everyone around the globe, because He is over time. And so we can have the confidence that He hears our prayers. And then also, since God is over time, He sees each event, and He sees the beginning and the end. He knows how it all fits together, how it all works out. And so we can be confident that though times may be confusing, that God actually sees the bigger picture and we don't. We were never meant to. We're stuck in the present. But God sees everything vividly. And so we can be confident that this will actually work out for his good. And so just be encouraged that and comforted in this time that God is in your yesterday, he's in your today, and he is in your future. And so take the time to read the chapters I've laid out for you in the description and answer the questions.